Hello and welcome to episode 39 of the podcast. I'm Michael.
I'm Noah.
And we are the Knights of Entertainment, a podcast covering your favorite and unknown movies, games, comic books, anime, and more weekly. We appreciate you being here and hope you enjoy the show. This is what we are covering tonight. We have two lists here today. We got characters that were ripped off from each other between Marvel and DC. But before we do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You can enjoy the show on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, Odyssey, and more. We also have membership tiers on those platforms if you'd like to support the channel. Or you can check out Coffee Brand Coffee. Use our promo code for 10% off, KOE Podcast. But let's go ahead and get started.
All right, who ripped off who we sit with?
So we have some characters here. We have 20 characters that were ripped off from Marvel by other people. And then we have 15 characters that were ripped off by DC, or from DC. So some characters that were ripped off from Marvel.
So basically, it's characters that originated in Marvel.
Yes, that were ripped off.
That were slightly changed and then added to a different continuity.
Yes.
Or a different publisher, I guess.
And I'll preface these are lists made by Screen Rant. So this
so is it exclusively, like, so DC took this character from Marvel, or is it from other publishers as well?
The majority of them are supposedly taken by DC from Marvel, but there's one or two that are not taken necessarily from DC specifically, but they're just characters that were ripped off from Marvel supposedly.
Okay.
So, like I said, these lists are from Screen Rant, so if there's an issue with it, they're not my list, and I did not make these, and some of these are stupid, so...
Not to mention the numbering system when one of them is horrendous.
Very much so. Copy editors, please, God, find a damn copy editor. As big of a company as Screen Rant is, at least learn
Probably just like one guy in a closet.
Yeah.
There's one guy. That Screen Rant's just one dude. Can you imagine?
Yeah, but okay, with the numbering system, they have automatic numbering systems when you type anything out with bullet points, so it's not hard. Like, come on. You say that there's 15, but you start off with number 20. Like, come on now. And then you work your way down to number 1 by skipping shit. But we'll start on the Marvel side first. So we have number 20. We have some of these that were pathetic attempts and some that were actually successful.
Okay.
So the first one at number 20 was a pathetic attempt. We have Rocket Red, which is a ripoff of Iron Man.
I was going to say Rocket Raccoon. Rocket Red.
Rocket Red.
Oh, I know him.
Okay, so while Rocket Red's look may seem original
Is that
today,
Russian?
Do I know?
No, that's Crimson Rocket from Iron Man.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So while Rocket Red's look may seem original today, his entire design is essentially the splitting image of the original classic Iron Man suit. Rocket Red's alter ego's character wasn't entirely similar to Tony Stark, as the role of a billionaire funding the super team was already taken by Bruce Wayne. But the powers and abilities were almost exactly the same as his Marvel counterpart. Rocket Red's first appearance in DC Comics was in 1987, 24 years after Iron Man's debut in 1963.
Damn, he's that old?
Yeah.
63.
Again, this is written by Screen Rant, so understandably, the character of Rocket Red...
Red Rocket, what is it? Red Rocket, send somebody, what is it?
No, every time you say Red Rocket, I think of that South Park episode.
Where he's jacking off the dog? Yeah.
That's why I never like to say the name.
Red Rocket.
Okay, so they put, understandably, the character of Rocket Red really didn't take off as well as DC hoped with their readers. While the character did last, he was mostly only a minor member of the Justice League. The writers did try at numerous points to make his character more interesting, hoping readers would like him as much as they liked Marvel's Iron Man, but no attempts managed to last.
Should have made him a crippling alcoholic.
I know.
That would have helped.
Then he would have been Tony Stark.
Yeah.
So
wait, ours isn't Tony Stark because ours isn't alcohol. He's a heroin addict.
All right, at number 19 we have one that actually worked. Aquaman. Aquaman is a ripoff of Namor.
Oh, is he?
Or Namor. The first comic book Atlantean king was actually Marvel's Namor, who appeared in...
He also accused of horrendous acts recently. Man, I swear. Come on, guys. Keep yourselves. Come on. Keep it in your pants.
Namor appeared in 1939, whereas DC didn't create Aquaman until 1941. So 2 years later.
Dang. Wait, Namor was that old?
Yeah, 1939.
Shit.
Same year, 1 year after Superman. Aquaman has become more successful than his Marvel counterpart.
Well, damn, look at Jason Momoa with all that fucking hair. I'm not a gay man, but I'm also not blind.
Becoming a main member of the Justice League, whereas Namor was not as popular for Marvel, and thus became a character who secluded himself in Atlantis. To this day, the only one of the two to appear in a live-action movie is Aquaman.
Well,
so this was before the Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
Who appeared in Batman v Superman and Justice League, while there was an Easter egg hinting at Namor in Iron Man 2. They're saying that he hasn't appeared yet, but we know that he has at this point. But Aquaman is still way more recognizable than
Jason
Namor.
Momoa.
Even before that, he's been parodied. He's been made fun of. Everybody knows who Aquaman is.
He's always been the one getting the shit list.
Yeah. But the sad thing is that, like in the comic books, like when you actually look at his powers and abilities, he's one of the most powerful characters there are.
I saw him flip a truck once in a full car. In one of the issue 111 of Justice League of America. He just fucking and he's got the motion where his hands are up like in like a tossed motion, and there's just a fucking car flying about to hit one of the other. They were fighting that in that group that had like the counter opposite of the JLA.
The Injustice Society.
Is that it? That weird Superman that had like made it powerful by Kryptonian.
Like Ultraman, I think was his name.
That group.
Yeah.
And like fucking the Flash is a heroin addict.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck he was. Speed.
He's addicted to literal speed.
And then you had Owlman.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Owlman was they never really it wasn't until the Court of Owls when you knew that owls were the natural predator of bats.
Yeah. Nobody.
But that writer apparently did because he made Owlman.
So
give that man some credit.
He deserved a little bit.
Or a woman, if she wrote it, give that person some credit.
I mean, if we're being honest here, it was a dude.
Give that man some credit.
So Aquaman was one that actually worked out. Then we go into what they consider another pathetic attempt was Imperiex.
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 Oh, it's supposed to be a playoff of Galactus?
Yeah. He's supposedly a ripoff of Galactus.
He makes planets. He doesn't eat them.
So their description is Galactus has been one of the most prominent villains in the Marvel comic books.
Wait till he hits the MCU. Damn.
He still hasn't been in it, has he?
Hell no. That's too big of a character. And he would have to be a Celestial within that universe.
Well, he's killed Celestials in the comics.
Well, he must have killed them. I mean, they're going to say he killed the guy that was nowhere.
Well, didn't they have Eternity in the latest Thor, Love and Thunder?
It's her. I don't remember.
Eternity is.
Haven't seen it yet. If you want to see Chris Hemsworth's gorgeous ass, Love and Thunder. That's a tagline they should have used.
They got women out to it.
Yeah.
The enormous cosmic entity vows to destroy each world he comes across and has been one of the biggest threats for both the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. It took DC around 34 years to realize how great of a character Galactus was for Marvel Comics before they decided to make their own version of the cosmic villain. Their solution, Imperiex. Imperiex was almost identical to Galactus in his size, abilities, aspirations, and he had first appeared as a Superman villain before becoming the lead villain in the crossover arc Our Worlds at War. While he was a powerful foe for the DC heroes, he just wasn't as interesting, as most readers had already seen the same story countless times from Marvel. This was the one villain they really didn't manage to take off for DC.
Well, they tried.
But just you can tell that this person loves Marvel.
At least Galactus.
Yeah. Then we have one that actually worked. Number 17, Doomsday. They're saying that Doomsday is a ripoff of the Hulk.
Doomsday?
I don't really see how.
Oh, Doomsday.
I don't.
For some reason, for some reason in my head, I was like, Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom.
Well, he's nothing like the Incredible Hulk. And that's the same company.
Doomsday. So they're saying Doomsday is a ripoff of the Hulk. They put, though, before going far into this example, it should be noted that the Hulk himself was originally a ripoff of a DC character, Solomon Grundy.
Born on a Monday?
Uh-huh.
I will always say the next part every time if you go back and watch our videos, I will always say
Born on a Monday.
anytime you bring up, I swear, you look them up, I swear.
That being said, 30 years after Marvel created the Hulk, DC ripped off their own rip-off character from their. So they ripped off a character that had ripped off their character.
Yeah. It's like, we ripped off your rip-off, you rip-offs.
With the creation of the supervillain Doomsday. Doomsday was a lab experiment gone wrong in an attempt to create a more perfect and vulnerable human, much like Hulk's origin.
I don't think
that was Hulk's
No,
origin.
wasn't it just an accident?
Yeah.
That one kid's like, I'm going to go out there.
It was a gamma radiation accident.
Yeah, man, it blew his dick off, too. They never tell you that part.
Also, like Hulk, Doomsday grows stronger the more he fights. And again, whoever wrote this from Screen Rant, that is not actually true. But Doomsday cannot be killed the same way twice. Is what my understanding is.
So if I can kill him one time, will he come back?
Yeah, he comes back each time.
What if I threw him in the sun?
Then he can't be killed by.
And I just left him in the center forever.
But then he'd be
Checkmate, you son of a bitch.
Then he'd be Superman and come back 15,000 years later.
And then bang Lois Lane.
The only difference here is that Doomsday grows stronger by adapting and evolving.
That part I knew about.
Yeah.
The adaptation.
Yeah. Whereas Hulk grows stronger from increasing anger.
You can only get so angry.
Even the color of Doomsday is reminiscent of Hulk, since Hulk's original skin tone was gray.
That's because they couldn't afford green or some shit, if I remember.
Well, DC did change quite a bit of Doomsday, mostly by making him a villain rather than a hero. That's enough evidence to show that the DC antagonist was at least inspired by Marvel's Green Giant. So like I said, this person loves Marvel.
I guess so.
Like that is a bit of a stretch to say that Doomsday was only modeled after Hulk. To me, he would have been more modeled after Abomination from Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you're going to do a direct comparison here, it would have been Abomination, not the Hulk. Like out of all of them, no. The next one they consider a pathetic attempt. Number 16, Guardian. Guardian, they're saying, is a ripoff of Captain America.
Guardian, the guy with the shield?
Yeah.
Not Peacemaker or Peacekeeper?
No, the guy with the yellow shield. Yeah. There have been numerous ripoffs of Marvel's Patriotic super soldier, but the most notable of them...
They ripped off Captain America. That's Superman. Yep. They went to the future... And then they saw Captain America, and then they went back in time and they made Superman.
Exactly.
Captain America is the original superhero.
Alrighty. But the most notable of them was DC's Guardian. Guardian made his first appearance in 1942, just 1 year after Captain America. So he's been around for a long ass time.
It has to be. I mean, it's a shield. It's pretty much...
Yeah, I could see it.
It's hard not to...
But like 1 year after, but I didn't even realize that the Guardian was that old. Like I didn't know he was that old of a character. Old. The only time that I really remember Guardian from was during the whole Death of Superman thing.
When he was like, I gotta fight crime now.
With Cadmus, the company that was run like making clones and shit of like Superboy. Yeah. The biggest difference between the two characters is that Guardian originally had no abilities besides his indestructible shield, whereas Captain America had super strength.
I thought his was just like a peak physical or some shit.
Apparently not.
Like in the original, he was like peak human.
Yeah,
that's what it peak human.
And not now.
like he could bench press the very limits of human potential. Mm-hmm. But then in the MCU, he could bench press a fucking Ford truck.
Right.
So then when not MCU, Ultimate Universe.
Okay. Yeah.
In the comic books.
Yeah.
So they took the Ultimate Universe version, which was a buffer version of the original, and then they made that for the MCU. Yeah. That's why that Captain America is so fucking strong.
Yep. It can jump out of a helicopter or a plane.
It can hold a helicopter.
Yeah.
Can't take a bullet shot though.
Just like the Prize Comics Fighting American, Guardian was also created by Captain America creators Joe Simon and Jack Kirby.
That motherfucker didn't even. He's like, fuck it. He just made another one.
Exactly. Simon and Kirby realized the formula of Captain America worked well and supposedly decided to try him on numerous different platforms. Of course, none of them worked as well as the original Captain America, who is still one of Marvel's most popular heroes to this day.
Can't beat the original sometimes.
It would seem Guardian and Fighting American failed to live up to the original.
Damn you, Guardian.
Now, number 15, we got another one that actually worked. Lobo. A ripoff of Wolverine,
He was?
according to
What?
the screenwriter.
What did they rip off? His anti-hero attitude?
Or regeneration, maybe?
Maybe, but I mean that's a huge jump.
A huge jump.
Yeah.
Lobo was DC's answer to Wolverine.
Like you took a hit of cocaine. It was like, here we go. We take Wolverine, we put him in space, make him an alien. Fucker, got a bike, got a motorcycle. He talks like that. He fucking overdose. That's the only way I can see. Like I like Wolverine. You pick some hit of cocaine. Give him white skin.
Change everything.
He doesn't even need to breathe in space. He can just fly. He's got a motorcycle though.
So they put Lobo was DC's answer to Wolverine, but they were not focused on his abilities. Instead, Lobo was almost identical to Logan in personality.
Oh, okay.
Being a gritty mercenary who was rather sick of life.
Hey, Bob.
His first appearance in DC Comics as a villain in the 80s, but unfortunately he did not take well with the readers. In the 90s, the writers at DC revamped Lobo, making him an anti-hero who he was a parody of some of Marvel's grittiest characters and stories, with most of the focus being on parodying Wolverine. Lobo has become somewhat of a fan favorite among DC fans, being one of their darkest characters to date.
He was until they made him into a twink.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Say, hey, ladies, you like what you see?
While he hasn't appeared in any live-action movies just yet, rumor has it that Warner Brothers and DC are finally planning to give the anti-hero his own movie, with Michael Bay being eyed to direct.
No! No! If you want to see a box office bomb, go see a Michael Bay movie.
Like the new Transformers.
Robots in disguise.
Oh, God. Then we have number 14, another pathetic attempt. We have one called The Fighting American.
Captain America.
The rip-off of Captain America.
He looks like Captain America.
When you hear the name Captain America, it's likely that you would think of a patriotic superhero who fights for truth and justice.
Every time I think of Captain America, it's him punching Adolf Hitler in that comic book cover.
Yeah. And whose arch nemesis is a skull-faced villain. However, Captain America is not the only character who fits the description of this. Prize Comics created an almost identical hero to Captain America during the 1950s.
Prize Comics.
Not DC this time.
I hear that.
Not only was the primary villain almost identical to Captain America's villain Red Skull,
His name is Roger Steve.
only with a darker colored skull. So he's still a skull.
Wow, so it's just a dark... Yours is bright red, ours is dark red.
But his sidekick was oddly familiar as well. Almost exactly like Bucky Barnes.
They call him Buffy Barnes.
The story behind this character is actually rather interesting. During the 1950s, there was a brief period in time when Marvel writers Joe Simon and Jack Kirby jumped ship from Marvel and started writing comics for Prize Comics.
Jesus Christ, they're just trying to throw Captain America and everything.
Yeah. Considering that they were the creators of Captain America, it is understandable that they'd pick up where they left off, but only changing the names.
Jesus.
Then we got another one that actually worked here. Bane. They're saying Bane is a ripoff of Nuke and Crossbones.
Huh.
DC created the Batman villain Bane in the early 1990s, so I didn't realize it was that late.
Yeah, it was. He was just originally created just to break Batman's back. Like I shit you not. I think he was just made. Like they just invented him just to break his back and then dip out.
And then he became his own.
That's the worst thing. He broke his back, right?
Yeah.
100% defeated.
Yeah.
Pissed on his face and left.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even kill him.
No, just
Like,
wanted
I'm
to break
done,
his
bitch. Like, you son of a bitch, my back. Yeah, I'll never forget this, you bastard. Can you imagine Batman talking shit as he's laid out? You fucking stupid son of a bitch, come back and fight me.
I got a story to tell you later about something like that there that I've seen in real life.
In real life, my God. I saw this like real we call them BBWs, or big beautiful women.
Yeah.
She was a big girl, and there was this big fucking jock, right? With one of those, like he was a Chad for sure.
Yeah.
He had the fucking leather, like the nice skinny jeans, a fucking collar shirt, all tucked up. She fucking grabbed him and flung him and dropped him to the floor. And then when he tried to get upright, she pushed him to the ground with so much, like she had that kind of like power. And then you could just see the emasculation on his face. Like, no. He tried to get up again and she slammed him into a fucking table and chairs. He didn't get up the whole time. I don't know what he said to her, but she beat his ass.
That's why you gotta at least know that you can win. If you're gonna talk shit, at least know you can win.
I was fully erect when I saw it. Why did I say that story? Oh yeah, because Bane being all buff and you had a similar story.
Yeah.
But I also have a Bane story. This chick is beating this dude's ass. Surprisingly, her titties didn't fly out of her shirt, which is pretty much
like a first.
Yes, a guarantee in these type of fights. That was quite the hefty bra she had on. Didn't move once as she was manhandling this, and then all the other guys are laughing around him. He's like, "Help me play." It's like, no, you did this to yourself.
You did.
You got to accept this ass woman. And her friend was beating up his friend in the background. I'm like, God, these women are just beating these guys' asses.
Say again, if you're gonna start a fight, no, you can win.
What they tell her, you should get a salad, and they just beat the hell out of him.
Probably. But that's offensive.
It would be. Just let them eat whatever they want.
She's got a deeper voice than he does.
You son of a bitch. And then she picked him up and broke his back. My back.
I guarantee that's how Bruce Wayne felt. Just, you big son of a bitch.
You stupid motherfucker.
All right. Well, it's unclear which of the two characters Bane is based off of most. There is plenty of evidence to claim that Bane is a ripoff of both Marvel villains. His abilities and origins are similar to Nuke, while he is made in a lab using chemicals and drugs like steroids to boost his own strength. Crossbones, on the other hand, has similar abilities to both Nuke and Bane, but his mask design is almost identical to that of Bane.
Oh yeah, it kind of is.
It's safe to say that of the three characters, Bane has been the most successful.
Yeah.
Bane has had 2 live-action iterations over the years, whereas Nuke has appeared as a minor villain in both seasons of Jessica Jones, and Crossbones was also a minor villain later in the Captain America movies.
He was a horrendously minor villain.
Yeah. Number 12, we have another pathetic attempt, which was Ripclaw. Ripclaw is a ripoff of Wolverine.
I was like, I wonder who.
And this was not by DC either. So
they're not that fucking.
They're
DC,
not that stupid. No.
Yeah, if anything, is not that fucking dumb.
The fact that Ripclaw sounds like a ripoff may or may not be a coincidence. Image Comics first created Ripclaw in 1992.
Damn bastards.
And his similarities to Wolverine are uncanny. Not only does he have razor sharp claws like Wolverine, but he was also in a government lab as an experiment, and has some angry issues as well as a healing factor. The only real difference between the two characters is
he's smooth as a baby, while Wolverine is hairy as a fucking monkey.
His only difference is that Ripclaw has a Native American background given to him that allows him to link with the spirit world. Take that away, and Ripclaw is essentially Wolverine with the group, that old rock group Kiss makeup on.
Is that what he wears?
Like just white makeup.
Jesus.
So yeah. It's very likely that Image was just trying to ride off of the success of the TV series when they created their new character, hoping that they would attract X-Men fans to read their comics.
Wow, and they sold 1 million copies of Ripclaw.
Probably.
Probably not.
Number 11, we have another one that actually worked, which was Swamp Thing. They're saying that Swamp Thing is a ripoff of Man Thing.
Both of those. Swamp Thing, Man Thong. Is what I hear in my head.
First off, the actual origins of these characters is as murky and unknown as the swamps that they live in. DC's Swamp Thing and Marvel's Man Thing.
They don't know how they were made? What do you mean? You guys don't have archive footage or
footage?
Not footage.
The Man Thing?
You got that Bigfoot footage. You can't have like archival files and like paperwork of ideas written down.
I I guess not.
They wrote it down on a fucking mirror of cocaine.
Probably.
I just assume everybody in the 80s and 90s was snorting cocaine when they made these comics.
This is 70s. So.
70s cocaine and weed. Every time, that's what it's so fucked up in my head. But I just imagine them sorting mountains of cocaine and writing like 55 stories. And
all at once.
Stan Lee would just fucking churn them out, like boom, 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 and then fucking Jack Kirby was drawing like a madman. And they had to be fucking just the two of them, just fucking. Like that to me, that's so fucking incredible that they would just write stories and draw them like 18 stories a fucking month.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I can't write 2 sentences
without questioning what you just wrote.
Maybe I need cocaine.
You need the magic white powder.
We'd have magic white powder. I'd be writing like Stephen King, minus the gangbang.
DC's Swamp Thing and Marvel's Man Thing were created.
Stop saying it. I can't help it. I'm a child, sir.
Were each created and published within a month of each other.
Oh, shit. That's like, wow, that's... Wait, that's... What the fuck? How?
1 month of each other, yeah.
That can't be possible, then.
I don't know if it was... I couldn't see it being a real
That had to be a coincidence.
That's what it says, well, Man Thing didn't release first.
God. You got that man thing.
What released first?
You make my heart sing.
There is not enough evidence to determine which idea was created originally. While most people assume that Swamp Thing was a ripoff, the numerous heads of DC over the years avidly deny these claims, saying that it's just a coincidence.
Yeah, like there has to be like because they wouldn't know it would be a success in a month, so they wouldn't copy it.
And it would be a stupid thing to copy.
Yeah.
Both Marvel and DC's characters have been very successful since their creation in 1971.
Okay.
It's safe to say that neither of them have surpassed each other, though. Both of them have received their own movies, with Swamp Thing releasing a movie in 1982 and Man Thing in 2005.
Was it a porno?
Probably. The next one we have number 10, another pathetic attempt. We have a character called Bumblebee, which is a ripoff.
Transformer?
No, which is a ripoff of Wasp.
Oh.
It does look almost like that.
Oh, wait, Bumblebees. Yeah, I know Bumblebee from Teen Titans.
Yeah. In terms of winged, bug-like female superheroes that dress in yellow and black, Marvel's Wasp is undoubtedly the most familiar. She was one of the founding members of the Avengers and will co-star in she co-starred in Ant-Man and the Wasp, following her supporting role in Ant-Man. On the other hand, side of the table, DC's Bumblebee was not met with nearly as much success, becoming not much more than a minor member of the Teen Titans. Wasp was created in 1963, whereas Bumblebee wasn't created until 1974. While the height of Bumblebee's run was in the Teen Titan animated series, there was a chance that we may finally see a live-action version in the superhero movie of her in a superhero movie, the Teen Titans series. That show that came out. I don't know. Was she ever in it?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think it's already wrapped up too. Like the show's already over.
Yeah, so I don't know. Number 9, one that actually worked, which was Blue Beetle, and they're saying that this is a ripoff of Spider-Man.
Every bug's gonna be a ripoff then.
Right. I don't This is like one that I thought was just stupid. It says, the history of the character Blue Beetle...
It would have been better if it was an actual spider.
Right.
Ours is the man spider.
That would have been a rip-off. But Blue Beetle?
Not even the same bug.
The Blue Beetle didn't even have the same kind of abilities as Spider-Man.
It wasn't, like it's just a regular dude.
Yeah,
before the alien one.
Yeah, like it was all...
Like Ted Korg.
Yeah, he was just like smart and everything. He created stuff. Kind of like Batman. He's more of a Batman rip-off than he was Spider-Man. The history of the character Blue Beetle is complex, as the original incarnation of the character was first made by Fox Comics in 1939.
Remember that?
However, the character was sold a number of times after that.
Sold?
Yeah.
Passing this poor man around?
Eventually being purchased by DC in the early 80s. While the original versions of Blue Beetle were not very similar to Spider-Man, who was created in 1962, the DC version of the character was strikingly similar to Marvel's web slinger. Not only were they both bug-like heroes, it's like, okay, how's that?
That doesn't really.
But the backstory and characteristics of DC's Blue Beetle
Did his Uncle Ben also die?
Right, are very similar to Peter Parker. While Blue Beetle never got close to the success of Spider-Man, he still became a very popular character for DC, and he still is to this day. Okay, but I don't understand how the backstories are even close. Like, Blue Beetle's character was rich.
Yeah.
Peter Parker's poor as fuck.
He's always broke.
Always. Look, what's his name?
He's got no girlfriend because he can't afford condoms, and he got time for babies.
Another pathetic attempt of a ripoff. We have Leonard the Duck.
From Howard?
Yes.
Jesus.
Leonard the Duck was a character who appeared in Eclipse Comics, Destroyer Duck Comics, which was written by former Marvel writer Steve Gerber with the help of Jack Kirby.
Jack Kirby, that man, myth legend.
Gerber created the character Howard the Duck, so he created both.
So what is their obsession with taking a character they created once and then trying to make it the same formula in a different place?
I actually have a reason for this. It says he created Howard the Duck 6 years prior to creating Leonard the Duck.
Okay.
While working for Marvel, Gerber didn't try to rely on being subtle when creating Leonard the Duck, making him completely identical to Howard in appearance and characteristics.
Jesus.
At the time, Gerber was in a legal fight with Marvel for the rights and ownership of Howard the Duck.
Oh.
So he was trying to have rights to everything.
Don't create an original character in an established property because they will keep it.
Exactly, but apparently this was one of his favorite creations.
Well, he should have created that. Always self-publish.
Yes.
If you love something that much, so you know you're the only one that owns it.
Yeah. It was likely that Gerber originally intended to use Howard and Destroyer Duck, but due to the legal issues, was unable to use it in that publication.
Damn.
Howard the Duck went on to have his own live-action movie and appeared in both Guardians of the Galaxy movies, while Leonard the Duck went on to have a very short-lived career.
He had a sex scene in that Howard the Duck movie.
And even the covers for Howard the Duck versus Leonard the Duck.
Oh, he was legit upset.
He copied identically.
He was
almost. Mad
as fuck.
And Leonard the Duck has a silhouette in the picture of Wolverine instead of just a person with a sword. So yeah, he was
fucking livid.
Yeah, we have another one that actually worked. They're saying Killer Croc is a ripoff of Lizard.
Huh.
The Lizard was first created as a Spider-Man villain in 1963. He was a scientist who turned into a large reptilian monster that posed a threat to Spider-Man on a number of occasions, even appearing as a main villain in 2012's The Amazing Spider-Man.
Damn, I love that movie.
In 1983, DC followed suit by creating the Batman villain Killer Croc. Like the Lizard, Killer Croc was also a human who became a large reptilian monster, posing a threat for one of them.
Was he just a large reptilian monster?
Yeah.
Or he's mutated over time?
I guess so, yeah. Over the years, Killer Croc has arguably surpassed the Lizard, becoming one of the most famous Batman villains in the comics. On top of that, the makeup done on Killer Croc in Suicide Squad played a major part in winning the movie the Academy Award for Best Makeup in 2017.
That movie was ass.
Yes, it was.
I don't give a damn what awards you give it.
This is quite the achievement for a rip-off character. Then we have another one that I find just... Okay. Marvel, you do not own the name Thor. I'm sorry, but you don't. Thor is a god that has existed for thousands of years at this point, I believe. Close to. You don't own Norse mythology. I'm sorry, but you don't.
Imagine at the bottom of our fucking video, right? There's a comment from Marvel. You'll be hearing from our lawyers.
That'd be funny. So they have number 6, a pathetic attempt. The Almighty Thor, they're saying, is a ripoff of Thor from Marvel Comics. So they put, comics haven't been the only things ripped off from Marvel. The movies have as well. One of the most notable attempts to rip off a Marvel movie has been Sci-Fi's Almighty Thor, which aired May 7th of 2011. just one day after the US release of the live-action Thor. The plot follows a young Thor who teams up with a Valkyrie to defeat Loki, who has taken the hammer of invincibility and ended the life of Thor's father.
You bastard.
Both the reviews and reception to Almighty Thor were atrocious,
I imagine so.
as the movie was indisputably horribly made. The fight and death scenes were all horrible, and the acting and effects were arguably even worse. The movie wasn't nearly as entertaining or successful as Marvel's Thor. It certainly didn't help that sci-fi's already disreputable track record.
Disreputable. What did they do?
Like, this to me is coming off as a Marvel fanboy writing this. So, but like, you don't have rights to the actual Thor character.
Yeah, I saw that movie. It's absolute ass.
Yeah, it could be a horrible movie, but
It is a horrendous movie.
You can call it say like this version of Thor is not good, but it's not a ripoff. Like, there's been Thor movies forever. You can't. Yeah. Marvel doesn't own, and even in the actual image of that, he doesn't even look like the other Thor.
His hammer's way
bigger.
Design, yeah, the complete
different design.
change.
His clothing is fur, so it's not even like Asgardian of Marvel type stuff.
Weird.
So it's kind of hard to copy that. We have one that they consider that one that actually worked. They're saying Batman Beyond is a ripoff of Spider-Man the animated series.
What, the plucky kid with the powers and the...
I guess so.
Maybe.
They put, following the success of the animated Spider-Man TV series in the 1990s, the team at Warner Brothers decided to follow suit by creating a similar formula with their own series, Batman Beyond. Instead of following the classic adult Bruce Wayne like most Batman series in the past did, Batman Beyond was set in the distant future and starred 16-year-old Terry McGinnis, who became the new Batman. This is extremely similar to the Spider-Man series, as both of them followed a teenage superhero fighting crime as each of their respective comics' most popular superheroes. It's difficult to dispute which show ultimately became the most successful, so it's safe to say that each series was fantastical in their own right. This was undoubtedly a ripoff of Marvel that actually worked.
Man, that's a good show, Batman Beyond. But, I thought...
but if we're following the same guideline where they're saying like a 16-year-old with powers taking over, what about Static Shock? Is that a ripoff?
Static Shock.
But is that a ripoff now? Like,
no, because well, I don't know.
I'm saying if you're following their formula for what a ripoff is,
who cares? I love both shows. I love all three shows. Static Shock. The Batman one. The Spider-Man one from the animated show. A teenager, man, was always like, looked like he was always like 45 and 20 at the same time.
I know. That's what
like, I don't know, his age, you fucking flip back and forth.
Look like a full-grown 30-year-old adult.
Yeah, like, yeah. It's like, Aunt May, I got bills to pay.
Like he's been working a job for 20 years.
Yeah, like he's nowhere near a fucking teenager in my head.
Number 4.
Maybe it was Spectacular Spider-Man. That's a good show, too.
We have another one that's a pathetic attempt, and I kind of agree with this one, though. This is actually one I do agree with. Atomic Skull is a ripoff of Ghost Rider.
Atomic Skull.
It's kind of a ripoff, just a little bit. Ghost Rider has always been one of Marvel's most successful anti-heroes since his first appearance in 1972. Whether it was his flaming skull for a head or the impressive motorcycle that he rode, something seemed to click for Marvel's readers. DC took notice of this and created their own version of the character in 1978, Atomic Skull, which, much like Ghost Rider in abilities and appearances, simply had flames around his head to be colored purple instead of, or green instead of Ghost Rider's orange. At times, Atomic Skull has been shown with a motorcycle in case the connections between the characters wasn't already
Atomic
clear.
Skull has a scooter.
I know. Rather than being an anti-hero like Ghost Rider, Atomic Skull has always been depicted as a villain. Unfortunately, Atomic Skull never seemed to click with the readers the way Ghost Rider did, and rarely appears as more than a background character in DC Comics today.
Damn.
Number 3, we have one that actually worked again. Supposedly, they're claiming Dr. Fate is a ripoff of Doctor Strange. Mm-hmm. But listen to the explanation.
Okay.
So they put, whether or not it's DC's Dr. Fate was actually a ripoff of Doctor Strange is disputable, as Dr. Fate's original appearance was in 1940, 23 years before Doctor Strange's first appearance.
Okay.
But he's a ripoff, remember this.
I'm following.
Makes no sense.
Time travel. Follow.
Again, Superman's a ripoff of Captain America.
Yeah.
The catch is that Dr. Fate was never more than a background character for DC before Doctor Strange was created. Once Doctor Strange became a hit for Marvel, DC started giving stories to Dr. Fate, hoping that Marvel's readers would read about Dr. Fate as well, and right they were. Dr. Fate actually became quite the hit for DC. Well, unless you're talking about what we just talked about in the last episode of Black Adam. While he isn't as well known today as he was during the height in the 60s and 70s, Dr. Fate used to be a well-known name in the comic book world, at times being more successful than Doctor Strange himself. Had Marvel not created their Sorcerer Supreme, it's likely that Dr. Fate wouldn't have made its appearance in the 60s at all.
So they're saying because of the popularity of Doctor Strange,
Dr. Fate became more popular.
They figure that if they gave more attention to a minor character,
Right.
that it would be, I guess, well, I don't know.
But how do you call that a ripoff? If the character was created 23 years before.
I don't know.
Yeah, you copied us, although we probably copied you and then made him more popular.
Who knows?
So again, like I said, whoever's writing this for Screen Rant loves Marvel. We're down to the last two here. We have a pathetic attempt. The DCEU was a ripoff of the MCU.
There's no dispute there. I mean, yeah,
Right.
We all know that was happening. They did a horrendous job of it too.
Yeah. Yeah, that one I agree with. And then they have number one that actually worked. Because I'm not going to go into the DCU and the Marvel we know about.
We know this. Let's wait for the DCU. See how they do in 2025. When the official start with the Batman, or no, Superman, Man of Tomorrow, I think is what it's called.
We have one that they say that actually worked, though. They're saying the Red Hood plot twist was a ripoff of the Winter Soldier plot twist.
When did the Winter Soldier plot twist happen?
They do not mention.
I thought they came way after.
Bucky Barnes being Winter Soldier?
Yeah. Or did that come before?
I think it came before.
For that
I just don't know by how much.
Oh, wait. That was like 06 or something when Red Hood started showing up.
03.
03. Maybe they, well.
But I will say,
Could be possible.
the Red Hood plot twist was much more interesting than the Bucky Barnes one.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about Bucky Barnes.
No, well, the Red Hood, okay, it's Jason Todd. He got his ass kicked, killed by Joker, and then he comes back. Like, Bucky Barnes.
He was 100% killed by fans, and then DC was like, "Fuck you, take this down your throat."
We're bringing him back.
And they've been having to deep throat him ever since.
All right, that is all the Marvel ones. We'll get through these DC ones pretty quickly here, though, because they're more common sense than the other ones. Those were written by, the Marvel ones were written by a Marvel fanboy that was trying to stretch on some of these. So the rest of these are kind of more, okay, that makes more sense. Number 15, we have a pathetic attempt. Hawkeye is a ripoff of Green Arrow.
That story's been as old as time.
Exactly. See, don't even have to dispute it. We know it's true. These are just objective. And Hawkeye has never been as popular as, well, until maybe recently. Yeah. But he was never, like in comic books, as popular as Green Arrow. Green Arrow was always a part of Justice League and stuff like that. We have one that actually worked. Deadpool. The direct ripoff of Deathstroke.
They keep saying that, but the guy that wrote Deadpool said he was not.
He was into the fact that Deadpool, his name is Wade Wilson. Deathstroke is Wade Wilson. I don't want to dispute that.
And they had to change Deadshot's name.
Yeah.
In the new that was with the Will Smith Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Because it also had like a Wilson or something, like Sam Wilson or some shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild. They all love Wilson.
We have another pathetic one. Quicksilver as a ripoff to The Flash.
Mm-hmm.
The Flash appeared in 1940, so that's a long time ago. Another one that actually worked. Thanos is a ripoff of Darkseid.
Thanos is Thanos now.
Exactly.
So
and Darkseid,
that movie didn't work.
And the thing is Darkseid was a good character. Like, he was pure evil. Like, Thanos had a plan. Darkseid just wants to destroy shit.
Thanos was like, I just want to make half of this, and just half of these people gone.
And Darkseid wants the anti-life equation, so that way everybody will be his slave. So he doesn't want to kill you, he just wants you to be a slave.
Man, it's a lot of slaves.
Another pathetic attempt. We have Hyperion. Is a ripoff of Superman.
Hyperion, yeah.
Or Sentry, I believe.
He doesn't really get much play as often as...
No, because...
He's really powerful.
Yeah. And didn't he have a dark side, too?
I think so.
What was it?
He has like a weaker form. Kind of like the Hulk.
Yeah, he does. Then we have another one that actually worked. The X-Men were a ripoff of Doom Patrol.
Were they? Mm-hmm. Cool.
Didn't even know that until I read that. But yeah. They even had a character that was extremely intelligent, like Professor X. We have another pathetic attempt. Gladiator was a ripoff of Superman as well. Gladiator, one of those... the Shi'ar?
Oh, that guy, yeah.
I think that was the alien group.
Yeah, the Shi'ar.
Yeah. Another one that actually worked, Ultron, was a ripoff of Brainiac.
I guess. Ultron was a robot made by Hank Pym. Mm-hmm. Brainiac was an alien.
Yeah. But still, like, I guess...
Robotic, I guess?
There's, like, robots or artificial intelligence. We have another one that actually worked. Vision is a ripoff of Red Tornado.
I think that's true, actually.
Yeah.
Then they even said that somewhere.
Yeah. Red Tornado debuted in DC Comics in August of 1968. Vision, on the other hand, didn't debut until 2 months later in October of 1968. So...
I mean, this color scheme, everything's kind of the same.
Yeah. Another pathetic attempt. We have Boomerang is a ripoff of Captain Boomerang.
Didn't know there was a Boomerang character in DC or Marvel.
Yep. One that actually worked. Sandman is a ripoff of Clayface.
Nice choice.
Yeah.
Sandman's cool.
I know, he became more popular than Clayface. At least in, like, with Spider-Man.
Nowadays, yeah.
Yeah. Pathetic. Black Cat is a ripoff of Catwoman. Yeah.
But man, she's such a... she's got it all.
Another pathetic one. We have Night Thrasher, which is a ripoff of Batman.
Night Thrasher? What the fuck?
Yeah. Night Thrasher was created as a dark-suited, martial arts-trained vigilante who would often hunt criminals at night and was skilled at making his own technological advancements. So that's basically a pure Batman ripoff. Then we have another Batman ripoff, Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. They took the basic concept and completely... Well, yeah, if you know Moon Knight, you know Moon Knight.
And then we have the last one that actually worked. The Avengers are a ripoff of the Justice League. Yep.
Well, man, it was Stan Lee by himself. He had the copy somewhere. He was just churning them out.
It looks like Justice League was formed in DC Comics in 1960, while the Avengers did not assemble until 1963.
I forgot their fucking Avengers song. Man, it goes to show you how little effort sometimes it feels like they take in their writing.
Yeah. But just always remember, Solomon Grundy
was born on a Monday.
All right, that's all on those lists. Like I said, the ones that were ripped off from DC are kind of more blatant a little bit. Just a little bit.
What are you going to do, sue us?
Yeah. The ones that were ripped off according to Screen Rant by Marvel, a couple of those were a little bit of a stretch, and you're probably going to pull something if you go with a stretch for that far. But other than that, anything else to add before we head out?
Yeah, Howard the Duck had a sex scene in his movie. Haunts me to this day.
We'll see you guys on the next one.